Hi everyone, I'm David Scranton, and thank you for clicking this video because today we're talking about the Secure Act 2.0 and what changes you might just be able to expect when it comes to planning your retirement. And to help us today with this ever so important topic is our special guest, Ed Slott. He's an author, public speaker, and television host, and has also been called the best source for IRA advice and America's IRA expert. Ed, as usual, it's my pleasure having you back here.
Yeah, great to be back with you. Things are changing all the time here in the retirement market, in Congress and IRS.
I know, no kidding. So speaking of that, what do you think? Do you think 2.0 is going to get through? Do you think it'll eventually pass?
Yeah, I think it will. If you remember, it came out of the House, the full House. And remember the context. In this age of polarization and partisan politics, this thing passed the full House 414 to 5. So that's saying something. Now,
Sure,
it still hasn't gone to the Senate, which it'll probably pass. The only thing that might derail it, obviously, all of Congress likes the term secure, even though it means anything but. I learned a long time ago studying tax law, whenever Congress names a tax law, and this has been true for almost 40 years, you can almost always bet that whatever name they give it, it will do exactly the opposite. So keep that in mind.
Love it.
And the first Secure Act actually passed by a margin of 417 to 3. So unless this is larded up with some other provisions that become controversial, there's no controversy here. It hasn't gone to the Senate, but it's expected to pass. And if anything, the big changes, which I don't know if they're necessarily great, but they sound good, and that's why Congress likes it, is pushing back the RMD, the required minimum distribution age, from where it is now to 72, in a weird way to 73, and then 10 years later to 74 and 75. 10 years later, half those people will be dead. So I don't see the benefit there.
And also, in your experience, do you find that most people by age 73 are already taking distributions from their IRA because they need it?
Well, there are a couple of benefits to this. Anytime they give people more freedom to do what they want for a longer time is probably pretty good. Personally, I think they should do away, just eliminate all RMDs completely. They're becoming a mess, a nuisance for seniors. Remember, you already have a 10-year rule. After somebody dies, all the funds have to come out 10 years after death. So I really don't see any need for RMDs because of the calculations, the different accounts. It gets complicated. And every time they change the age, it's more complicated, even though it sounds like a benefit. But if they keep moving up the age, then the tax that will have to be paid on this growing IRA or 401k will be bunched into a shorter window. So that means long-term, you're probably paying more tax. Now, you asked a great question. According to the Treasury Department's own statistics, this would only benefit about 20% of the people. 80% of people subject to RMDs are already taking more than the minimum because they need the money. So telling somebody you don't have to take money till later if you need it doesn't help them. So it only helps the people who can have other resources and don't have to touch that IRA money. But even for those people, the longer they wait to start taking RMDs, the larger the account will have grown and the higher the tax bill will be, which will have to be paid either by them or their beneficiaries in a shorter window.
So Ed, if you had to rewrite the Secure Act, what kinds of things would you like to see in there that you think would be positive?
I think it'll never happen, but what I just told you, they should root and branch, rip out RMDs completely. There really is no need for them. Like we just said, 80% of the people take them voluntarily because they need the money. Let people take what they want. They earned it. They worked 30, 40 years to build this account. Let them take what they want. Most people will take what they want and probably more and pay the tax anyway. And if they don't, their beneficiaries will have to pay it within 10 years after death in most cases. So I don't really see the need there's an end game anyway. I think they keep putting Band-Aids on this, pushing the age back, making other adjustments, which just complicates the lives of people. And also, by the way, we have new life expectancy tables you have to use starting this year. Adds another wrinkle of complexity. So anytime you can make things simpler for people to just get at their retirement savings, people who will pay the tax, it's not about avoiding the tax, it's about simplification. Congress usually likes simplification. So since all of Congress, I know, Dave, watches your show, here's my advice to you. Slip in what I just told you, and every congressman who signs this will be the hero for life for over the tens of millions of people who have saved for retirement, and all they do is worry about RMDs and calculations and penalties and how old am I?
Mm-hmm. Sure. I think it's funny because one of the things that's in the Secure Act, though, is this thing to make it easier to put annuities and make them portable in a retirement plan. And obviously the genesis of that is that they're concerned about whether or not retirees have enough income. They know that, you know, the fate of Social Security is questionable, and they haven't done anything about it. But how are they going to do this? How are they going to make it so that qualified plans, 401ks, can have annuities in them and they can be portable so that people can get a guaranteed lifetime income stream? Have you read anything about that yet? Because I haven't seen the logistics.
No, the idea is good, and it's already in the Secure Act. The problem is big company plans, they're like old battleships. They take a long time to make a turn. Change, and they're always worried about being sued. You know, some employee turns their 401k into an annuity, and maybe it doesn't return the way they thought. They don't want to be on the hook for that stuff. But the idea of having annuities, which, as you said, Social Security is essentially an annuity, and people love that. I think people are better off in their own IRAs or even Roth IRAs and having the guaranteed income products there, the annuities there, where they could customize it with their own financial advisor and get exactly the plan that works best for them, rather than from a menu of limited choices offered by their 401k, if they offer them at all.
Sure, guaranteed income, and you know, who doesn't like guaranteed income, right? So final topic, away from the Secure Act. Congress, I cannot believe, if you asked me 10 years ago if Congress would have acted by now to do something to shore up Social Security, I would have said yes. But yet they keep kicking the can down the road. When are they going to stop, and how are they going to fix the problem?
They're not going to fix the problem. Eventually, younger people will be affected. You always hear people say touching Social Security is the third rail of politics. They don't want to touch it. It affects too many people that do one thing really well: vote.
Yeah, well, I hope you're wrong. I hope that they do something to fix it. But right now, it looks like you're right. They're just kicking the can down the road, and ultimately, it'll mean a decrease in benefits, as you know, of at least 20 or 25% for younger folks. So Ed Slott, as usual, our pleasure. Thank you so much for being with us on the Income Generation.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching today's video, Secure Act 2.0 update. If you enjoyed it, click a thumbs up button to give us a like, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel for new content each and every week.